continue to follow that breaking news out of Brussels now. Terrorist attacks, it's officially being called that now.
Right, and we have more information, new information about the death toll that keeps climbing, Nicole.
That's right, new developments right now, a lot of new developments to give you, Christina. A Belgian prosecutor says these terror attacks were carried out by a suicide bomber. As many as 23 people have been killed. Actually, that number now rising. There were attacks at 2 different locations, 25 people killed. The first 2 explosions happening inside a departure hall of Brussels Airport. This is a live look at the airport. You can still see people kind of being taken to different locations, being herded out of there. There's a heavy police presence there. The airport has been evacuated, operation suspended for the day. The damage is significant there. The windows were blown out. One person was inside that departure hall at the time of the blast, saying that the force was so strong that the ceiling collapsed and there was debris everywhere. 13 people were reported dead in the attack at the airport, several others injured. Then the third explosion about 2 hours later at a subway station just blocks from the EU headquarters. We're now getting a look at the scene there as well, where as many as 15 people are reported dead. Some gruesome video to look at here, more than 50 others injured. Some tough stuff coming out here from the scene there. The subway has been shut down throughout the city. High-speed rail service to London and Paris also suspended. The city is on lockdown. Everyone being told to stay inside. And this is just the latest in rising tensions in Belgium. Brussels was locked down immediately following the November Paris attacks, you may remember. And the man linked to those Paris attacks was just arrested in a raid in Brussels on Friday. The Interior Minister has been warning of attacks for quite some time now. Of course, this is the worst-case scenario, something nobody wanted to see. Brussels is a big target. Both the EU and NATO headquarters are there. Armed soldiers and military vehicles securing several buildings across the city. Again, you're seeing people being taken out of the airport and presumably being brought to more secure locations. Stay with us both on air and online as we continue to track the developments in Belgium. Stay with News10.com throughout the day for updates.
All right, time to check in on your forecast now with Mr. Johnston. Sir.
Thanks, Ryan. This morning, I wanted to get first to the sunrise shot. Nice looking sun coming up behind SUNY Albany campus. Beautiful shot. But it is brisk, so before you send the kids out to the bus stop this morning, make sure they've got the hat and gloves on. You probably won't need those this afternoon. Temperatures that start off in the 20s will end up today in the 40s to close to 50 in spots. It's going to be a pretty nice day. 29 now in Albany, 20 at Lake Pleasant, 20 at North Creek. And while the winds have backed off a lot from where they were yesterday, there is still a little bit of a breeze west at 10 miles per hour. That's going to make it feel a bit cooler this morning. And we'll keep our winds at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. A light breeze, but not quite as gusty as the winds were yesterday. Overnight, there were a few flurries. It was thanks to the Great Lakes. Just that northwest wind coming across. And that's all we're going to see. A few flurries this morning. They've pretty much all ended. The little bit that remains in the Catskills won't last much longer. Otherwise, the rest of the day should be generally dry. And again, pretty seasonable for this time of the year. So here's what happens next. Tonight, this front to our north is going to drop south and then kind of stall out. That's going to result in a few days of unsettled weather. No big storms, nothing you need to be too worried about. But after today, we're going to be seeing a few days of showers. Let me show you when that arrives and what to expect. This is 7 this morning, pretty clear. As we head through the day, we'll keep it sunny through the morning, and then during the afternoon, clouds will build. Still dry, though, through around 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. This is 10. Now, overnight, showers will be possible. And in the Adirondacks and in the Green Mountains, it may be cold enough to change that light rain to a little bit of snow, but it's only in the northern mountains. Most of us will just see a few rain showers. That's it. 49 today, 52 tomorrow, 60 for Thursday. So it will certainly feel spring-like when it's raining off and on. And looking ahead to Easter weekend, it does look like we'll get a break in the rain. Looks like a beautiful Easter weekend to be outside. For more on what's happening outside right now, I want to toss it back over to meteorologist Greg Powell.
All right, thanks so much, Nick. Right now, I'm at Empire State Plaza where the temperature is at 31 degrees. A quiet and cool start to the day. Reporting live with the Mobile Storm Tracker, sponsored by Curtis Lumber. Back to you.
Thank you, Greg. Shifting now to your News Express with all of the local news that's making headlines this morning.
Mixed martial arts could be legal in New York State soon.
Today, the State Assembly expected to vote on the issue for the first time since it was banned in 1997. And News 10 ABC's Sam Damasio live at the Capitol this morning. And Sam, it looks like this time that vote is likely to pass.
It does, Christina. New York State is still the only state where it is not legal, but it still has a huge fan base here. So fans are certainly hopeful that this is the year. For one, because the governor has included it in his budget proposal for the first time ever, and the assembly has new leadership. So Silver is out, and he is the one that's been holding it back for the past couple of years, according to Assembly Democrats. Now, coming up over on Fox 23, if it does in fact pass and it gets the governor's signature, I'll tell you when we could see the first UFC event here in New York State. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Sam. Schools in Cooperstown expected to reopen today with grief counselors on hand for a community continuing to mourn the loss of their superintendent.
So sad. Family members say 51-year-old C.J. Hebert was out riding his ATV on Sunday afternoon. When he didn't return home, his wife Tammy called for help. And crews found Hebert in the early hours of the morning yesterday, the apparent victim of a crash in a wooded area near some old railroad tracks not far from his Richmondville home. The ATV had apparently flipped over on top of him.
Today, the woman accused of tampering with her son's feeding tube will be sentenced. Jessica Valek pleaded guilty to misdemeanor child endangerment earlier this month. She's the mother of baby Jax, who has a rare and painful skin condition that affects his entire body. The family used to live locally in Johnstown, but moved to Ohio seeking treatment for baby Jax. Valek faces up to 6 months in jail.
A Corinth man accused of sexually abusing and photographing 2 young girls will be back in Saratoga County Court today. Arthur Gannon facing a slew of federal charges, including 5 counts of predatory sex assault. Gannon faces 25 years to life in prison. Investigators believe the abuse happened over the course of 7 years.
The Skidmore College community will come together to remember a student who died after falling 3 stories from a roof of a building. 20-year-old Will Golden of Cohasset, Massachusetts, a freshman hockey player at Skidmore. He was visiting the University of Delaware over the weekend when he fell. A memorial will be held in his honor on campus at 7 o'clock tonight.
A bill aimed at preventing tragedy sparked by a 5-year-old's death, now law. Governor Cuomo signing an amended version of the bill inspired by Kenneth White's death, and that will happen today. It would allow law enforcement to better access child protective services when a child disappears. Well, explosions going off in the middle of the morning commute in Brussels this morning. Huge concerns over in Belgium and across Europe, even here in New York
everywhere.
With the terrorist attacks. Yeah.
The death toll now mounting to 25. The country on the highest maximum terror alert. City of Brussels locked down.
Yeah.
Everybody being told to stay where they are. We'll have much more when we come back.
You're watching News 10 ABC. Dedicated, determined, dependable.